Hey there, friends, and fellow book nerds, book connoisseurs, whatever you want to say. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Atomic Pirate Girl, and this is Atomic Reads Books. And how are you? How are you doing? I listen. Some days, most days, I am goth, wear all black, a lot of band shirts, but some days were whimsical. And I remembered I had this, and my cat is being adorable. So, we have a review, or I have a review for you today. Um, preface, I love video games. I love video games specifically, like I would say like what I mainly play are like fantasy RPGs. I just love I am a high fantasy girly through and through. And whenever I find like a high fantasy game that looks good, great story, game mechanics, like I'm in. And I feel like along with I feel like Final Fantasy has games in their, franchise that is, definitely, like, high fantasy inspired, but we're not talking Final Fantasy. Nay, nay, nay. We're talking, Dragon's Age. So this is Dragon's Age: The Stolen Throne. It is actually by the, head game writer, David, um, Gaider. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. So this is the first book in a series of 6, and my cat is about to be chaos incarnate. Hello. Um so um with the books, listen, I always say I don't edit my videos because I my PC is kind of dumb right now with like I my editing software is just kind of turned to shit. It's a hardware software issue, so I just like hit record on OBS and we hope for the best. We hope things go well. So anyways, yeah, so if you are not aware, the Dragon Age game series is from BioWare. I Let me tell you a little history. Let me give you a little history. And that is, I started playing the Dragon Age games probably at the end of 2024 when Dragon Age Veilguard came out. I'm glad I started with that game for the sheer fact that 1, the gameplay is very intuitive, very user friendly, um, but I was able just to like have fun with it, and not kind of be too serious about it. It's a great game. Are there flaws in it? Absolutely. Like, the whole drama behind it. Listen, I'm not a video game this is not a video game channel. So, definitely Google it, Dragon Age Veilguard. You can kind of find I mean, like, valid critiques and criticism of the game, but I think overall it got a bad rap. Well, then I said, "You know what? Like, I wanna go back and I wanna play the other Dragon Age games because Veilguard has like Easter eggs in it." Long story short, a couple of my friends, shout out to Sergeant Lulstein and Unsound Methods, they informed me that this book series fucking exists. And I was like, hello, sign me up. So I'm going to read, like I always do, I'm going to read the back of the book. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and then I'll give you my score on Storygraph. So I don't use Goodreads, I use Storygraph. Storygraph, in my personal opinion, is 1,000% better. Anyways, so Dragon Age: The Stolen Throne, David Gaider says, um after his mother, the beloved rebel queen, is betrayed and murdered by her own faithless lords, young Merrick becomes the leader of a rebel army attempting to free his nation from the control of a foreign tyrant. Merrick's countrymen live in fear. His commanders consider him untested, and his only allies are Logain, a brash outlaw who saved his life, and Rowan, the beautiful warrior maiden promised to him since birth. Surrounded by spies and traitors, Merrick must find a way to not only survive, but achieve his ultimate destiny. Ferelden's freedom and return of his line to the stolen throne. So, I'm gonna say this. If you have not played any of the Dragon Age games, that's fine. I think this as a standalone high fantasy novel works on its own. I think it may even get you interested in playing Dragon Age Origins. So, um this book came out in I bought this is a used copy, by the way. These are kinda hard to find. I got my copy off of Thrift Books, which is why it doesn't look new. But I like that because, like but it's still, like, it's well loved, but it's not damaged. So, um, this book came out the copyright of this was 2009. Is that right? Is that correct? Yeah, okay, so this came out in 2009, and, um, I I really enjoyed the the growth of the characters, of I think of Merrick, Merrick and I always say this, is Merrick is the definition of a character who means well, but meaning well doesn't mean it's the right decision. Um, I think also, the 2, like, main, um like, his allies, Logain and Rowan, are good foils for Merrick, in that they sort of represent, I think, the push and pull of who he needs to be versus what he wants to do. And also representing that third part, the fear of not being good enough. Because definitely opens up and he's just kind of like he feels very hapless, very hopeless. Um, the beginning of the book, he's running away because his mother was just murdered. You don't really see it, like it's definitely mentioned in sort of the interactions and things like that. But the literal opening of the book is the, is him running. It says, "Run, Merrick," and he did. His mother's dying words whipped him into action. So you're seeing him running, right? And I think there is definitely a theme of that, of running away from responsibility, not necessarily running towards it, or you're running towards trying to prove yourself. Um I do like that this book spans over, I believe it's a couple years. It has been just a little bit since I've read this, but you do actually see growth in all the characters, like all the main characters. Um but then you also get a really good look at the world of Dragon Age, so prior to the Origins game. So, and I'm trying not to, like, spoil it too much. It has, I think, all the high fantasy elements, nothing is left out. I think you can definitely tell David, great, Gaider really loved these characters, and he loved the world that he created for Dragon Age. It has, like I said, magic, it has castles, it has epic battles, spies, love, betrayal, heartbreak, all those things. And the end is devastating. The end really is like heartbreaking. Um Oh, again, no spoilers, but, I think this is if you've played Dragon Age and you didn't know that these books existed like me, you should absolutely pick this up, and if you're just curious about like, if you're really into, like, lore or world building, definitely pick this up. Now, on Storygraph, looking over at my other monitor here, on Storygraph, I did give this 4 stars, not quite a 5 star. I did really enjoy it. But it wasn't, like, life-changing. I guess it's sort of for me, like, a five-star book just, like, takes my fucking breath away, like, it totally catches me off guard, right? Like, that is a sign, I think, for me of a five-star book. Um but, I'm gonna read you my review, and what I said was, I started this book, because I started playing the Dragon Age games, and I was really interested in the lore of this world, and they re definitely the games, side note, reference, like, do little Easter eggs and do reference back to other elements and people in the game. Um Varric, Varric, I love you, and I'm sorry you were never a romanceable NPC. Anyways, be because when you think about it, a game like Dragon Age that came out in 2009, 2010 really was ahead of its time in the realm of storytelling. And if you haven't played Dragon Age, I got sidetracked by Baldur's Gate 3 and Final Fantasy 14, but Dragon Age Origins, having played it, graphics-wise, I look at 'em like, you are most certainly a game from the 2009, but the way they tell the story feels very different. Like, it feels, like I said, ahead of its time. Um, I personally think it's still a playable game after all these years, but the book, about the book. Do I think this is required reading to play the games? No. You should play the game should you, play the games after reading this book? No. I think having knowledge about the games helps click things into place that happen in the lore of the games, but I think this is a great standalone series. A really wonderful cast of characters that you really do end up caring about, and the ups and downs of emotions for what they have to go through and go and grow through to be able to put Merrick on the throne as the rightful king of Ferelden. Nicely paced, lovely dialogue, and a high fantasy with just enough of a dose of realism to be able to spend your own disbelief and be transported into a land of magic, darkspawn, and dragons. Can't wait for the next book. So I haven't read the next book yet because I am always distracted. So I do plan on tackling the second book, which I believe is Sunder. Oh, no. The second book is called The Calling. So again, my understanding is that I believe the first 3 books, or at least the first 2 books for sure, are prior to, Dragon Age Origins. I think the second book falls or the third book, Asunder, falls between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, and then the other books from what I have been told is that, like, one of them's like a collection of short stories, and then you kinda have the other ones as well, which are, The Masked Empire, Last Flight, and To Venture Nights. Unfortunately, the last 3 books do not include David, Gaider, but, hopefully they're still good. But I think I really like his words, I really like him as an author. So I'll have to see if he has anything else written, but yeah, if you are looking for something like a high fantasy, something a little bit different, I definitely recommend Dragon Age: The Stolen Throne. Cool. So, that is it for this video, for this review. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Whatever, and whenever you find this video, make sure, if you're not, go ahead and subscribe. Do all the things. Oh, I have a little thing here. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I'm gonna try and post one. I generally so far post once a week on Thursdays. um, and what else? Oh yeah, make sure you're following all my social media things, including my main channel, The Atomic Pirate Girl here on YouTube. I'm pretty much the Atomic Pirate Girl everywhere. And that is it for me. I hope you guys have a lovely time. And tell me down below, what is your favorite high fantasy series? Okay. I will see you guys on getting over there. See you guys on the next one. Bye.